Thank you so much, Pallavi Pande, for joining Immigrants Making an Impact, the podcast. Pallavi is a mompreneur raising eco-conscious kids and inspiring everyone to make their kitchens and events sustainable, one plate at a time. She's the founder of Detox. Pallavi, please tell us more about yourself.
Thank you for this opportunity, Mame. I'm glad to be here. And my name is Pallavi. Like you said, I'm the proud founder of Detox, which is a palm leaf tableware company where I am the mom who rescues fallen leaves and I give them one more use before they go to waste. So I create sustainable tableware for consumers at home and at events. And while my journey at Detox speaks largely of sustainability, I also love working on our cultural preservation because I was so excited to bring the concept of eating on banana leaves from India. And I was like, why not introduce this concept to the Western world? And that's how Detox was born 4 years ago.
Wonderful. Thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tell us about your immigrant journey. So how did you land in the US as an immigrant?
Oh, that's an amazing question you bring out here because not a lot of people talk about it. We don't know who's an immigrant, who's a natural born. So you really don't know until you hear the stories, right? So thank you for asking this question because it is kind of a story, a real story. And at the age of 22, I embarked my journey as an immigrant. I got married and I moved to the United States as an immigrant. And right after landing here in the United States, I did pursue my master's in electrical engineering from the Ohio State University. So I lived in Ohio right after India. And I was juggling because I came to a new country and I then did my master's. So I went to college and I enjoyed that life. And then after that, I became a mom. So I juggled raising a family. And then I stepped into this world of logistics with my previous job. And then working over there, I mastered my skills, which I today use for my business. So that has been my backbone story when I was starting my business, which is Detox today, the company. So I became an immigrant not only for the chances to succeed, but to immerse myself in diverse experiences and interactions. And I wanted to blend the deep tradition, like I mentioned in the beginning, of our Indian roots of eating on banana leaves and a mix of my past. I wanted to bring it to the present and offer something to the world and bring value through my business. So it's just not about the tableware that I make now, but it's about sharing a cherished Indian tradition while promoting a global push for stopping the plastics and literally advocating for stopping the landfill problems, the plastic pollution problem, for a greener future. So Detox is more than just a tableware company. It's a story of migration, a story of my merging worlds and of preserving the essence of my homeland while embracing this global move and the global experience.
Amazing. And I think that you have given us a summary of your journey so far, but let's go back to the immigrant bit. So you landed in the US, and how was the integration process? Take us through it a little bit.
Okay, let me try this. So navigating life as an immigrant, what it generally means for people, I think if they can resonate with me, because these are my feelings. I did embrace a lot of challenges and I was constantly adapting every day. So it's this very resilience and diverse perspective that I gained as an immigrant that drove me to entrepreneurship, because I was surrounded by these people who are doing so much around me, adding value where they live. And I was like, how can I blend in this country and what can I do different to stand out in this crowded marketplace? So for me, starting Detox was a harmonious fusion of honoring my cultural heritage and addressing the global environmental issue and being in a new country. So I recognized an opportunity to bring a piece of my homeland sustainable practice and bring it to the adopted country where I live now. And all while creating positive change. So that positivity was very important to me, to ripple it to people around me, where I live. So being an immigrant really enriched my vision, and being an entrepreneur gave me that platform to share this vision with the world here where I live as an immigrant.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
So I
welcome.
see the bit of you that is multicultural,
Hmm.
that you brought a bit of your Indian heritage. And
Hmm.
nowadays you are using your heritage to make an impact by solving our world issue of climate problems and plastic pollution with your work. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So you have talked about your unique background and experiences, and then blending that with your immigrant integration and growth. Tell us more about what inspired your entrepreneurial journey.
I would love that because that's a very dear story to me. So of course I was born and brought up in India. And during my vacations, I remember we used to visit the southern part of India with my family, and we used to enjoy eating on banana leaves. That was an experience that was luxurious. It was so natural, earthy. And even today, after becoming a mom, that is when I felt like, okay, I should add the entrepreneur to a mom. So that's how the term mompreneur came across, because my children started calling me mompreneur because I was a mom first and then an entrepreneur. So when I took my daughters to India and when they got to experience the same childhood culture that I did, I was so nostalgic with that feeling. And I was like, how can I provide them this experience every day at our home in the United States, where I came as an immigrant so many years ago. It's been 16 years here, a beautiful, amazing 16 years. And I was like, how can I give them this experience every day at home? And that's when I was inspired to go back to India, come out of my nostalgia, and literally go ahead and find the raw material in India, which is the fallen palm leaves in the areca palm farms. So there are a lot of areca palm farms in the southern part of India. The main purpose of the areca farms is to produce areca nuts, which are also called betel nuts. Once the nuts are consumed by the consumer, the leaves fall down, and that is what becomes our raw material. So we pick up the leaves, we heat compress them, forms them into tableware, and we sell them. So basically, the fusion of my background and experience birthed Detox, and that's a brand that is rooted in our Indian authenticity and purpose. So when I observed the global issues of plastics, because I host a lot at home, and I was like, what are we doing throwing so many paper and plastic plates? I was so driven to create Detox as an eco-friendly brand. And my journey taught me resilience, the importance of community, and literally a mission-driven mindset, because I wanted to support the women back in India. And I was like, I'm going to hire the women workforce. We're going to manufacture in India, and we're going to give back a part of our proceeds. So that is how we take care of their families. It costs $60, like literally $60 for 1 year of annual tuition for one child. That's nothing for us, right? That's like if you don't go to a restaurant 2 times in a week, and you can save that $60 in a jar, and you can put that towards their children's education. So that's what we started doing. And basically, that's how I blended my lessons from my Indian roots with experiences in a new land, shaping my entrepreneurial vision.
Wonderful. And I think that the nuggets, the knowledge, the wisdom you are sharing with us today is an inspiration to many immigrants who want to blend their cultural background and make an impact and solve problems in the new countries that they live in.
Rightly said.
So as you speak, it looks like it has been all rosy, but I believe there has been some challenges. So what challenges did you face while starting and growing your business in a new country, and how did you overcome them?
Oh boy. Okay. Because there's just not one. So I will be iterating a few of them. So bear with me. So while I was familiar with the sustainable traditions of using palm leaves in India, I had to still understand the market dynamics and the customer preferences here in the United States. So that definitely did take time. And when I say take time, what I meant was I spent 1 year. So that was a learning curve for me in comprehending how to position Detox in a way that it resonates with the consumers who are going to consume Detox tableware at the end of the day. So that was a cultural and market understanding for me in both the different countries. And then came as an immigrant, I didn't have the established network, right? So I didn't know a lot of entrepreneurs that I know today. So building those relationships from scratch, especially with suppliers in India, where I had to source the raw material from, manufacture over there, and then distributors who could help me bring the products, and the logistics people who could bring the products all the way across oceans from India to United States. And then at the end, the customers, all these relationships that I had to learn how to nurture with time. So this was very essential and a big challenge for me. And then definitely figuring out the business regulations between countries, the tax structure, the licensing to start a business. So all of those are questions that were for my due diligence that I had to spend time on, legal consultations. So it was very important for me to find out the right people that I could just pick up the phone and talk to, that, hey, I am a citizen of United States. I live here now. I'm ready to contribute to the economy, to the community, but I need help in figuring this out. So that was very challenging. But I tell all the entrepreneurs, you wouldn't know until you try to do it. So associate yourself with the right network and literally try to ask questions, because if you don't, your questions will be never answered. So these were just a few of the challenges that I had, along with a lot more. So I will say I have much more to put into that, but I will keep those short and brief so that we can move on to the next question.
Wonderful. So associate yourself with the right network,
Of
learn
people.
the market dynamics, the customer preference as well.
Yes.
Okay. Can you share with us a pivotal moment or decision that significantly impacted the success of your company?
Sure. One pivotal moment that I remember greatly influenced Detox was the decision to deeply root our brand in our cultural heritage. So early on, I remember we faced a choice, and that was whether we should market our products as just another eco-friendly tableware option for people or for consumers who are looking for better alternatives, or should we harness our rich history of eating on banana leaves, or that story of the Indian tradition of using palm leaves as dining medium in India. So it was the challenge of how to do our branding, how to come out as a brand that talks to consumers in a story, because that's what I've learned again and again, that if you really have to be a successful business, your brand has to be a story to people that can speak to them. So opting for the latter, which was more of the story of crafting how I wanted to enrich my history and bring that tradition to the Western world. Because like I said, I became a mom after I was a mom before a mompreneur, right? So I wanted to bring out that piece of mom and connecting to my kids and having that value added to the world. Because if my young kids can do it, so can anybody, right? So that is when I decided to make the narrative of my products centered around my brand story. So it's not just the product, but also the brand story, the Indian tradition. And that differentiates us in a competitive market, because I am the only woman-led brand in this palm leaf niche who has this deep story, and it is targeted to the audience towards the story of sustainability, with the story of cultural authenticity. So I think that impact is profound to me. And the customers just don't see Detox as an eco-friendly alternative. They see it as a return to roots and a time-tested tradition story. So that conscious choice, it becomes easier for the consumers when they listen to a story. So that decision definitely elevated my brand, and it solidified our identity, and it made sure that every plate and every bowl that I carry at Detox, it talks about a story, and it empowers our women community back in India who manufacture, and it tells the story of our rich heritage. So this was not just about marketing, but it was about acknowledging our Indian roots, valuing my tradition, and conveying it to the consumers.
Well said. This question is coming up, and I want to know, does Detox stand for a word?
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up, because, of course, I love this icebreaker question, because sometimes people are like, what does it mean? So thank you for bringing that up. And definitely Detox is inspired by the real word detox, which means a cleansing journey. So here I'm providing people a cleansing journey with palm leaves. So hence the word detox, but with a twist. Of course, this is DTOCS instead of the actual spelling of detox. So it is inspired by the word detox, which means a cleansing journey from inside outside.
That is brilliant.
Thank you.
So how did you build and leverage your network, so both locally and internationally, to support your business?
So building a robust network was vital for me in this new country. So I immersed myself in the local community. I attend almost 2 events per week. It is a lot, but it is worth it, because at the end of the day, those connections, those people are important, because what I am today is because of people, planet, and parties. I always say that I stand for all these 3 things. And joining different business groups, that was important to me. And I used my cultural heritage, sharing the tradition. And that is what sparked interest in people. Like you asked me, what does detox mean? Hey, tell me more. What inspired you? So again, all these stories, they spark interest in people. And that's what you want at the end of the day, right? So I meet people because the industry events, they keep me updated. Like, what online platforms are people using? I use a lot of LinkedIn. So I'm very LinkedIn addicted, like how people are addicted to Reels or TikTok. For me, it is definitely LinkedIn because that is where I reach out to people every day. And I consume like all my connection requests. Like I connect with 100 people per week on LinkedIn. And
Wow.
yeah, and then definitely to leverage my network, I use a lot of collaborations for brand visibility and connecting with a broader network of people to bridge the gap with connecting with people, because that's the best thing. What I've realized after COVID, that the digital footprint is so huge and it is the best way to connect with people. So I've built this network, and now I just leverage it for collaborations, for asking for mentorship, valuable guidance, for networking, all of it.
Wonderful. What role did failure play in your journey? How did you navigate setbacks and challenges? And did you learn anything from them?
Oh, yes. Setbacks taught me invaluable lessons for sure. I did begin viewing setbacks as feedback. So I do remember at the very beginning of my journey, business journey, I of course I used to get frustrated when I used to get some sort of setback, but what I did think was, what if I take this as a feedback, I work on it, and then I turn those obstacles into opportunities. So those experiences strengthened my resilience and determination. So every challenge that I faced in my journey, it taught me to adapt. So I quickly adapted. That's one trick I really am very known for. So growing up, I did go to a Catholic convent school, right? So every phase of my life, I was put into these environments or these phases where I learned how to adapt very quickly. So I think that helped me refine my business. And when you're starting a business, you're not clear. You don't know anything, what you want out of it. But I think the more you face challenges, the faster you adapt, the faster you work on a feedback, and you turn those obstacles into opportunities. So you keep improving. My point is, you keep improving. Don't just stop. Don't become negative. Don't get frustrated. Just think about how to move ahead. And I think one big thing was getting mentorships from local resources. For example, I got mentorship from Built Oregon, Rain Catalyst, Ascend Oregon. And these were the communities that I associated myself to guide me through these rough times whenever I was going through obstacles. So you should have somebody where you can go back to share what you're going through, your challenges, so that people can open doors for you with new solutions. Because sometimes, like I said, you don't know because you've never gone through it. And I think Detox core values became my guiding light, ensuring my mission and ensuring that I am staying on my path. And that's how I learned the importance of planning ahead and managing the risks. And ultimately, these challenges shaped Detox into a resilient brand, which is what it is today.
That is deep. It really sounds that a lot of work has gone into your brand, your company, and where you are now. How long have you had your company?
It's been amazing 4 years, right before pandemic in 2019.
Wow, wonderful. So what advice do you have for somebody who is aspiring to be an entrepreneur and looking to enter the global market and engage with diverse customer bases?
I love that question because we recently launched into Canada. So now we not only provide our products in the United States nationwide, but we also are providing our sustainable tableware to the consumers in Canada, whether they're at home, whether they are in the event industry, food industry, or just looking for a better sustainable alternative than paper and plastic tableware, right? So navigating Detox into global market. Now I can say we global because we're in more than one country. So navigating,
Congratulations.
thank you. So navigating Detox into global market did teach me two essential things, which one was again, adaptability. I really lay emphasis on the word adaptability because you have to be adaptable when you're a business owner because you just can't get stuck. Because like I said, there's no clear path. You have to pivot, you have to move, you have to adapt. So one was adaptability and the other was cultural sensitivity. So again, I married the global eco trend of using sustainable alternatives with our traditional practice, like India's banana leaf dining, right? So my advice is, while taking inspiration from your roots or your cultural experience or whatever it is that inspired you to start your business, you ensure that you resonate with your local consumers now, because you have to make sure that it's aligned, right? Because what if you're offering something that doesn't align with the local consumers? So that's what you have to do. You have to engage with your community online and offline, and you'd really have to make those connections to see whether the consumer wants your product, because maybe it's something they don't and you want to adapt and pivot to a different product, or for that matter, a different business completely. So you have to be open. You have to keep showing that adaptability and cultural sensitivity and keep moving, whether it's in the same business, keep improving it, do the lean methodology, which is you get something in the market, you test it, you get feedback, and then you iterate it again, or you just do the whole thing again and you move on. I mentioned that because Detox is my third business. I did have two other businesses, and again, at that time I didn't research the market very nicely or didn't study the consumer, so I couldn't get my other two companies successful because there was no way I could sell those products. And the third time I learned, and I was like, I'm going to study very genuinely the market, and then make a product that really sells, that the consumer wants. So that demand is very important to supply something.
Great. So what is the best way to study your consumers and the market?
That's a great question. So definitely do a lot of question and answers, like a lot of consumer interviews. So you have to go to them and you have to ask, like, what are you using right now? Do you use paper or do you use plastic plates? And get a sense of from your data, like out of 100 people that you spoke, how many people use plastic plates? How many people use paper plates? Or how many people just don't buy any of these and just use traditional plates for XYZ reasons? So that's how you get to your consumer interviews for your data points, that what is the market looking for? What are the alternatives you can provide them? So you find the problem, then you find the solution, and that's how you come up with your product, right? So that is how one of the best ways to do is just directly go talk to people. And if you are far from your consumers, you use online survey forums, you use cold emails, you use now Zoom, like you can Zoom people back to back, or so these are just some ways, but it's so easy to now digitally reach people, number of people at one time.
Okay, just reach out to people and talk to them, ask them questions, right?
Right. And if you go to your local libraries, there are so many data points on the problems that exist today. And then from there, you never know. You can come up with an idea of like, hey, I want to solve this problem because this is what I am tired of. And actually, that's my 2 cents. I've noticed that successful products or successful brands actually do come out from your own experiences or your own desire to fight a problem. Like, for example, I host a lot, like I said, right? So I was just tired of the paper and plastic plates because every time I was hosting, I was spending 10 minutes heating up the food, warming up the food. And I was like, I wish there was a non-plastic or paper plate that I could just shove in the microwave that would be like, hey, whenever you want to eat, you put your plate in the microwave. So I was like, why can I not design a plate that does everything? That's compostable, that's kind to the environment, that doesn't cause landfill, that is not plastic, that is not paper, that looks nice because I don't want a cheap paper plate, and something that is at the end of the day microwave safe. So it was my problem that I was facing every day with these products that were there, and I was like, I need to make something myself. So that's when I made my own plate, and that became successful. So I think that's something I've noticed, that when people have their own problems and then they're trying to deal with those, and when they're trying to find solutions to those, that is actually because there are 100 other people that have the same problem, and we don't know because we don't talk about it, and we only come to know when we actually talk about it.
That is very deep. Yes, and I love the fact that you drawing our attention to the fact that the problems that we do have as individuals on the daily, these are the problems that we have to go ahead and solve. And most of the time, many people are having the same problems. And then that is when we turn that into a viable business, trying to solve problems and challenges and then make an impact.
Yes, you couldn't have said it any better. Exactly.
All right. So what is the most important thing that you would do today to make tomorrow better?
Oh boy, at Detox, every day is a step towards a greener tomorrow. So today we are innovating we keep adding new products. So every 6 months. So we are innovating our leaf straws. And that is one way to making sure that we have greener tomorrows. You keep innovating new products. And we're also engaging with communities for deeper impact. Again, to finding out what they want, right? Because you don't want to invent a product that doesn't sell. You want to talk to the communities first. Like, what is it that they want? What is it that they are struggling with? What is their problem? Like, for example, the soggy straws. So I spoke to so many people and they were like, hey, can you make better straws? Because the paper straws get soggy in 10 minutes and they disappear in the drink somewhere.
Thank you so much. I also need that straw right here at home.
I would be more than happy to send you some. But again, it's about engaging with the community and talking to them, like what their problems are. And then that can give you ideas to innovate new products. And that is how you can keep amplifying your brand message about eco-consciousness. And you can reinforce those partnerships for a global reach. So every effort promises a friendlier tomorrow. That is what my goal and my mission is right now.
Wonderful. I look forward to purchasing a sustainable straw from you.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give to immigrants in general?
Oh, that is a good one. So I will say pack your favorite spice or whatever it is, your favorite, along your dreams. In business, just like in cooking, add a touch of your roots, and a touch of your roots can transform the ordinary into extraordinary. Remember, while detox turned palm leaves into tableware, you can turn challenges into opportunities. That is what I want everybody to be inspired with today. After listening to this podcast, I want everybody to embrace the journey and always season with a bit of humor, like I did right now.
We need that humor part. It's time to invite our community to support you. Are there any projects you are doing that you want us to know about?
Absolutely. At Detox, I'm so excited to launch, like I said, recently in Canada. So not only just in the United States, but now even the consumers in Canada can get a hand on our products. Again, our website is dtocs.com, which stands for Detox, and that is a sustainable tableware brand located in Portland, Oregon. So I know I didn't mention it to the listeners, but yes, I am in Oregon. So if everybody wants to connect with me, that is something I would encourage. And that is how I will say, please come and support me, support my small woman-owned, woman-led business, where I not only support environmental sustainability issues, but also empower our women workers back in India. We make sure we give back to them. We make sure their kids go to school, and we pay for their kids' annual tuition, which is $60, like I said, per kid. And we also partner with a local nonprofit here called Greater Than Portland, where we support and advocate for equitable education for underrepresented children. So when you make a purchase from my brand, which is Detox, which can be done either on a website or Amazon.com or Walmart.com, Etsy, wherever basically, look for our brand Detox.com. And when you make a purchase from us, you're also helping us put those dollars towards empowering these communities. So that is what I will say is how the listeners can support and help me, because this is not just picking a product. This is joining my movement and helping me. And share your sustainable dining moments with us. So if you do end up making a purchase from us, please do connect with Detox, and you can tag us and share your moments with us, because I really want to see how people are making a difference one plate at a time.
Wonderful. I think that I will invite our community immigrants, fellow immigrants, please, let's go out there and cheer Pallavi on and support her, buy her product and tag her. I hope that internationally you guys will get to Europe pretty soon. Is that in the pipeline?
Yes, that is actually, because we are thinking about opening on a Shopify website, like a international delivery anywhere in the world. But right now that has not been done, but maybe next year. But in the other case, if you really want to fall in love with the products, you connect with me, you message me, and I will be happy to ship you and anywhere around the world. So that is something I can definitely do.
Yes. Problem solved. You are a problem solver.
Yes.
Okay, so finally, please complete the sentence for us. Immigrants are...
Ooh, okay. Imagine the world is a giant puzzle. I mean, I don't know if you guys like puzzles, but I love puzzles because I play that with my 9-year-old and my 11 years old.
I do.
So imagine the world. Perfect. Yeah. So everybody loves puzzles, right? So imagine the world is a giant puzzle piece, and from different countries, and immigrants are like these connectors that help fit these pieces together, and they help us see the beautiful picture, which is the complete puzzle. So that's who we all are, the pieces of the puzzle that makes this world a beautiful place.
Oh, we couldn't have ended this conversation better. So sweet. Thank you so much, Pallavi.
You are so welcome.
You came.
Thank you for having me. This has been the best start of the day. It's still morning here in Oregon, but it's been one of the best things today.
Wonderful.